If you're new to All Souls Church, please take a moment to click the link in the order of service in the chat for our connection card so that we can stay in touch. During the service, please feel free to get up, move around, or take a break from the screen as you need, but try to be present as possible. And imagine we are all in the same room together. Welcome to this morning, this day, and this opportunity to be together in community, which is a time of joy, comfort, and sometimes challenges. This Unitarian Universalist congregation is a place where we can come together to learn more about being human. We're not here because we figured out life's questions or because we think we've got it right. We come here to learn more about being in relationship together, how to listen, how to forgive, how to be vulnerable, and how to create trust and compassion in one another. Let us move into our service, willing to be authentic with each other, honest within ourselves, and opening to connection in all its forms. Now for our chalice lighting. We light our flaming chalice with words from Scott Taylor. In the soft light of this flame, may our lives shimmer anew. May we notice new possibility in those relationships that seem lost. May the turning of the year give birth to a dream. May the emerging light pull a new story into view. May what is give way to might what be. May we believe again in the world we imagine. And we follow the All Souls tradition of lighting a green candle, symbolic of our commitment to being a green sanctuary congregation. May both these flames call us to kinship with and great care for the earth and her living creatures. As we center our hearts, let us sing our chalice song for January, Rise Up, O Flame.
Rise up, O flame, by thy light glowing, show to us beauty, vision, and joy. Rise up, O flame, by thy light glowing, show to us beauty, vision, and joy. Vision and joy. By thy light glowing, by thy light beauty, vision as beauty, vision and joy.
Good morning. This morning, our opening words are from Reverend Carl Seberg. Let there be joy in our coming together this morning. Let there be truth heard in the words we speak and the songs we sing. Let there be help and healing for our disharmony and despair. Let there be silence for the voice within us and beyond us. Let there be joy in our coming together. Our opening hymn expresses that joy and that praise for the world around us, for the natural world and our relationships, for the beauty of the earth. It's hymn number 21. Let's sing together.
For the beauty of the earth, for the splendor of the skies, for the love which from our birth over and around us lies, source of all to the
Some of us come today with heavy hearts, and we open our hearts to you. And some of us come in joy, and we share your joy. If you have come to our time together today with a joy, a sorrow, a hope, or a prayer on your heart, you're welcome to share it in this community so that we can hold it together. After each person shares, I'll drop a stone in water, symbolic of the water we gathered and blessed during our water communion in September. If you'd like to share, you can come off mute by pressing mute or unmute on a computer. It's in the bottom left corner of your screen. Or if you're having trouble, you can give us a wave, and on our end, we'll click ask to unmute. You can also put it in the chat and we'll read it aloud. Please know also that this part of the service won't end up in the final recording. So what's shared here stays just in this time and this place together. I'll drop one final stone to remember and to rejoice. In honor of all of these prayers and joys and sorrows, we'll sing our centering hymn, What Wondrous Love. I invite you to join me in a time of meditation and prayer, first in words, then in shared silence, and then in music. Our words of prayer this morning are from Chris Cervantes. A blazing sun on the horizon between craggy hills with deep green grass. Rest now. Rest in the peace of this moment. Be at ease. Look up at the stars and down at the grass. Imagine the stars looking back at you over years and centuries, across oceans of empty space. Imagine the feel of the grass on your bare feet and feel it, dry and crunchy, soft and supple. Rest now. Rest in the peace of this moment. Dream for a little while of young people and young animals, innocent in the way of the young, careless and uncaring, accepting everything in their newness. Dream for a little while of the elders and the wisdom they have to give. The voices that say to you, it is right and proper to rest now. Rest in the peace of this moment. Be still at the turning axis of the world and let go of the long unspooling of history, of sorrow and joy and birth and death and all the long years between. Rest now. Rest in the peace of this moment. We rest together in shared silence. Thank you, Don. Generosity is a spiritual practice in our Unitarian Universalist congregations. Each week, we take an offering to support this religious community and its work in the world. If you are able to give with ease and joy, you can give online at the link in the order of service, and that will appear in the chat. Or you can have a meditative moment of writing out a check later on today and mailing it to the church. That address will also be in the chat. You're invited to give generously and joyfully as you are willing and able. Thank you.
Every day, I see or hear something that more or less kills me with delight, that leaves me like a needle in a haystack of light. It was what I was born for, to look, to listen, to lose myself inside this soft world, to instruct myself over and over in joy and acclamation. Nor am I talking about the exceptional, the fearful, the dreadful, the very extravagant, but the ordinary, the common, the very drab, the daily presentations. O good scholar, I say to myself, how can I help but grow wise with such teachings as these? The untrimmable light of the world. The oceans shine, the prayers that are made out of grass.
Thank you, Don. My friends and I have started a weekly Mary Oliver poetry night, which is just about the most UU stereotypical thing I could come up with. We gather on Sunday nights on Zoom. We read a Mary Oliver poem together, and then we reflect on how it's speaking to our own life and what it calls us to do. As in the poem Mindful that Dawn just read us, nearly all of her writing calls me to do the same three things: notice, wonder, and delight in the world. Delight is an old and beautiful concept. We can use it to mean pleasure or satisfaction or joy in the sweetness found amid daily life. But there's also a kind of lasting delight mentioned in the Bible, in places like the book of Psalms. Who is the person who delights in life? The psalmist asks in Psalm 34. One who loves each day and sees the good. Keep your tongue from evil and your lips from speaking deceitfully. Turn from evil and do good. Seek peace and pursue it. An ancient recipe for delight. I love it. American poet Ross Gay set out to be a student of delight, journaling every day for a year about the delights he experienced each day. You can read about his experiences in the book of essays called The Book of Delights. He quickly discovered that the practice of writing these daily essays occasioned a kind of delight radar, as he puts it. Or maybe, he writes, it was more like the development of a delight muscle, something that implies that the more you study delight, the more delight there is to study. And I would add, the more difficult a time we're going through, the more important it is that we make a point of studying delight. When we are turning to delight, it gives us a sense of joyous expectancy in which we can notice and appreciate the mundane and the profound. And when I say appreciate, I mean something a little different from gratitude. As Carolyn Meller describes it, she's a British author, delight is gratitude's goofy cousin. Gratitude is a moment's reflection. Delight is a laybird landing on your arm right at that moment. Gratitude is being thankful for the time, space, body, and freedom to go for a walk. Delight is, oh, the breeze in your hair and the falling leaves along the way. Delight, Meller continues, is a twinkling moment in your nook of the universe, the wonder and wisdom of children, and the magic and beauty of nature. And much like gratitude, once you start actively cultivating it, it pops up more often, sprinkling fairy dust on your doorstep and leaving you love notes in unexpected places. Where do we find these twinkling moments in our nook of the universe? Ross Gay writes about finding delight in his daily walk through the streets of Manhattan. He was walking around, head down, checking directions, when he said, I looked up to see a fruit truck selling lychee £2 for $5, and I had $10 in my pocket. Then, Mr. Gay continues, while buying my bus ticket for later that evening, I witnessed the teller's face soften after she'd endured a couple unusually rude interactions in front of me, as I kept eye contact and thanked her. She called me honey first, delight, and baby second, delight, and almost smiled before I turned away. On my way to the Flatiron Building, there was an aisle of Kusa dogwood. Looking parched, but still, the prickly knobs of the fruit nestled beneath the leaves. A cup of coffee from a well-shaped cup. A fly, he continues, its wings hauling all the light in the room, landing on the porcelain handle as if to say, notice the precise flare of this handle, as though designed for the romance between the thumb and the index finger, holding a cup can be. Or the peanut butter salty enough, or the person stepping in and out of their shoe, their foot curling up and stretching out and curling up. We are called to notice, wonder, and delight. Another story of delight, this one from our own Dot Morrill. I loved this story so much that I asked her permission to share it, which she graciously granted. Dot wrote this in an email to me. She said, I am lucky to have a row of flower boxes on the end of my porch. Every spring, I go to the local farm stand and buy enough flowers to fill them. I usually spend a whole afternoon planting, watering, and generally starting to appreciate a myriad of blossoms growing for my own pleasure. The day after planting, Dot continues, I went out to check on the window boxes. And as I walked back and forth, I noticed a praying mantis in one of the boxes. These boxes are about 5 feet from the floor of the porch, so I was practically eye level to the mantis. He looked at me and I looked back at him, and I think we were both surprised. The mantis was standing up straight with his hands in the air. I slowly put out my finger towards him and he high-fived me. It was one of those moments where you just feel gobsmacked, Dot concluded. It will always be that moment of wonder for me. Amid the everyday, the extraordinary waits for us to pay attention. What might be waiting to delight you? In our first session of our Mary Oliver Poetry Group, I realized that during this season of winter and of quarantine, I hadn't been paying much attention to the natural world. When I go out, it's hurrying to my car, and then it's paying more attention to the roads and traffic than even noticing the world around me at a stoplight. Inspired by this practice of cultivating delight, I decided to make a daily practice of pausing to notice the world outside my apartment. I had such a small realization this week that although I have a window next to my computer desk where I work, the curtain was drawn up to the side and blocking a lot of my view. With a laugh, I shifted the curtain across the rod and tied it back on the other side, and voila, I could see the snow coming down, the smoke from my neighbor's chimney, and I was reminded that this window is perfectly positioned westward to see the sunsets. Delight, delight, delight. What are the small things in our day-to-day lives that get in the way of delight finding us? Is there a part of your routine that, with a small shift, would let you experience the sensory goodness of the world. Unitarian Universalist theology affirms that we are inherently good, inherently worthy, that we are called to live fully in this time that we are given, called to make a heaven right here on earth. Our lives, even when we're going through hardship, are meant to be savored. We can accept the gifts of delight wherever we find it, wherever it finds us. So, beloveds, as American author Annie Dillard writes, we are here to abet creation and to witness it, so that creation need not play to an empty house. Who is the person who delights in life? One who loves each day and sees the good. Delight is a twinkling moment in your nook of the universe. And once you start cultivating it, it pops up more often, sprinkling fairy dust on your doorstep and leaving you love notes in unexpected places. May we accept the gifts of delight. So may it be. And amen. Our closing hymn together is one that celebrates the delights of the world around us. Blue Boat Home. I invite you to join in singing along with a recording of our choir.
Oh, below me I feel no motion, standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean. Still my dry land heart can say, I've been sailing all my life now. Never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. Sun my sail and moon my rudder, as I ply the starry sea, leaning over the edge in wonder, casting questions into the sea, drifting here with my ship's companions, all we kindred pilgrim souls, seeking our way by the lights of the heavens in our beautiful blue boat home. I give thanks to the waves upholding me, hail the great winds urging me on. Read the infinite sea before me, sing the sky my sailor's song. I was born upon the fathoms, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home.
And our benediction today is by none other than Mary Oliver. If you suddenly and unexpectedly feel joy, don't hesitate. Give in to it. There are plenty of lives and whole towns destroyed or about to be. We are not wise and not often very kind, and much can never be redeemed. Still, life has some possibility left. Perhaps this is its way of fighting back, that sometimes something happened better than all the riches or power in the world. It could be anything, but very likely you notice it in the instant where love begins. Anyway, that's often the case. Anyway, whatever it is, don't be afraid of its plenty. Joy is not made to be a crumb. Go in peace. Amen. Our postlude is a great one to sing along to from home. This joy is covered by the Resistance Revival Choir.
This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. Oh, this joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. Don't you know that this joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. Oh, I said the world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. Oh, this strength that I have, this strength that I have, this strength that I have. Oh, yeah, now. The world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it to me. This strength that I have. Oh, yeah, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it to me. This strength that I have. Oh, yeah, the world didn't give it to me. Oh, I said the world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. Oh, this love that I have, this love that I have. Oh, yeah, now. The world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it to me. This love that I have. Oh, yeah, the world didn't give it to me. Don't you know that this love that I have, yeah, the world didn't give it to me. Singing, the world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. Oh, this pride that I have, this pride that I have, this pride that I have. Oh, yeah, now. The world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it to me. This pride that I have. I said the world didn't give it to me. Don't you know that this pride that I have, yeah, the world didn't give it to me. Oh, I said the world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. All this peace that I have, oh, yeah. The world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give me my peace that I have. Oh, yeah, now. The world didn't give it to me. Won't you sing about peace? This peace that I have. Oh, yeah, now. The world didn't give it to me. I said the world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. All this joy that I have, this joy that I have, this joy that I have. Oh, yeah, now, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it to me. This joy that I have. I said the world didn't give it to me. Don't you know that this joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. Oh, I said the world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. The world didn't give it and the world can't take it away. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. The world didn't give it and the world can't take it away. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. The world didn't give it and the world can't take it away. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away.
Resistance Revival Chorus believes in the words written by the poet Toy Derricott when she wrote, "Joy is an act of resistance." We believe in the words of Mr. Harry Belafonte, who said, "When the movement is strong, the music is strong." We sing to revive the hearts of those who fight for social justice, and we sing together for freedom.
I could listen to that every day. Our final ritual together is that of announcements before we move into some social time together. First of all, thanks to everybody who helped bring this service together. to Dawn for reading and music, for Alicia and Nikki for tech support, Jacob for music, Joe for being our service assistant, Mary for being our usher, you all for being here, being present with your full selves. I'm really glad to have each of you here. This coming week, I will be on study leave, preparing for a spring full of services and events together. I will be accessible by email, but a little bit less so, and mostly focusing on reading and learning and preparing and reflecting. So I'm excited to see what ideas I'm able to come back and bring to you, how many of the books on my big stack of things I'm excited to read and bring to you all get made through. In case of emergency, please feel free to text me if you need me in a timely manner. Coming up this week are a number of chances to be connected with this community. There is no reason to be lonely. There are so many ways to be connected. On Tuesday at 3:30 is our Connection Circle. That's a midday meetup. Come, gather, chat, check in, share how you're doing. On Tuesday evening at 7 is the book group. You have a chance to come and discuss and learn together. Wednesday night at 6:30 is the development committee meeting, and I'm going to turn it over to Joe to share a little bit more about what that is.
Yes, hi everyone. So the development committee is meeting on Wednesday at 6:30, and just a few things we're going to be discussing at the meeting is that we're looking for ideas for a fundraiser that would be easy for the church to do without much time or expense.
That sounds good.
Research, we're also looking for other fundraising ideas and ask if people can bring the fundraising ideas prior to the meeting so we can discuss them at that time. And then we're also looking into how to have a trivia contest or playing games online with other people. If anyone has any experience with that regard.
I do. I'll help.
Okay, then you're welcome to either attend the meeting, you can forward them to me, or you can forward them to Sandra directly. And we're also looking for groups that we could reach out and contact that would be appropriate to include in any fundraising emails. Any groups that are affiliated or any members that are affiliated with our church that would be appropriate to contact them. If anybody has any ideas, then you're welcome to forward them to me or to Sandra directly. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Joe. And if you have any trouble finding those emails, you can email the church through the website and we'll make sure they get passed along. On Friday is our morning connection circle at 10 a.m., another chance to chat, share what's going on in your life. And then this coming Sunday, our guest minister is my colleague Sana Saeed. Sana is a Muslim Unitarian Universalist, religious professional. She is fantastic. She's preaching about hope, ancestors, and beloved community. Sana works for the Central East region of the Unitarian Universalist Association, and I think you all are going to have a great time with her. So I am excited for you all. I think that's it for announcements, unless I missed something. Great. So we will break us up into, I think, 2 groups this morning. If you want to head out and not stay for coffee hour, all is well. We'll see you next week. If you'd like to stick around for coffee hour, I'll put you in breakout rooms